You've seen your boyfriend playing this game Ark Raiders plenty of times, but you never understood why and what's this game about. So at some point we decided to ask him what's that, and he started explaining it, but you lost it when he started to say something like blah blah blah, PvE extraction shooter with karma-based matchmaking and blah blah blah. You know that and left the room, which is a completely valid reaction. But don't worry, I'm here to explain in this video tape in simple words what this game is, how it works, and why he keeps yelling he's stacking something up in his ass, and why the f is he so happy about that. So let's dive in. Ark Raiders is an online third-person shooter. It means that you'll see your character from behind. Game set in some post-apocalyptic future where these machines called Arks, which are falling from the sky, have destroyed civilization. Actually, the lore is a little bit more complicated than that, but we will stop here. The main map is called Rust Belt Ridge, where humanity, well, at least what's left, are living in underground in this safe place called Speranza, hiding from Arks. And you don't really think that Arks are just one type of robot. You don't even know. We have a menu: rolling, walking, flying, jumping, small, medium, big, and all of them annoying and dangerous in their own way. Meanwhile, you play as a rider. Rider is a scavenger who goes out to collect valuable resources and tries to make it back alive through special extraction points. That's it. That's how simple it is. Get rich or die trying. Now about the extraction shooter. An extraction shooter is a map limited by time and filled with all kind of loot like weapons, resources, gear and blueprints. But every separate map also have some conditions, and we will talk about it in a bit. The danger comes from two directions: the Arks, which are patrolling the map constantly, and other real players who came here just for the same reason you did and have just as much to lose. And remember that if you die before you extract, you will lose everything. All the loot you found, the gear you brought in, all of it is gone, unless you put it in your safe pocket. It's a small slot which remains even if you die. So if you hear your ladyboy yelling that he's stacking something up in his ass, just note he's talking about this safe pocket. I don't know why, but this is how they call it in the game. But I would recommend to check. Maybe he has deep, dark fantasies. First of all, this game looks amazing. This world is not that dark and depressing like other post-apocalyptic games or movies. There is something almost beautiful about it. The golden light breaking through the broken structures, the buried city, massive abandoned buildings on the spaceport. This is a kind of world that feels dead, but also gorgeous. The map conditions as well changed the gaming experience, and firstly, visual of course. Basic one is the day and night, but take in consideration that in the night ride, Ark will be more aggressive and you'll have less extract points to get out. During a snowstorm or a hurricane will definitely make you to adapt to the conditions, because this changes some gaming mechanics, like visibility will be poor. If you run against the wind, you'll move slower, your shield will take damage from the debris, so it will be sparkling all the time, making you visible to other players. During snow blizzard, you'll need constantly to look for shelter, otherwise you'll take damage from the cold. And you'll see that every shadow, every moment in the distance will feel as a threat, but still it will be beautiful. Audio in this game is great. Soundtracks are absolutely stunning. Sound design is where Embark Studio did a top-notch job. I don't know what top-notch means. Hopefully it means tremendous. They created for every map its own voice. In the forest you'll hear the wind moving through the trees. Near the water there is a constant low hum. And sometimes you just stop. You don't loot, you don't move, you don't do anything. Just stand there and listen, having a chill, because the game sounds that good. And then there's the layer under all of that. Some mechanical movement of a robot you haven't seen yet, an extraction happening somewhere across the map. Your brain starts to filter everything, thinking what's on the background. You start to see what is a threat and what is an opportunity. You don't have a minimap telling you where everyone is, so you'll have to listen. The game is constantly talking to you through audio. You just have to learn the language. That is pretty easy. And then there's the looting sound design. Open a metal container has this satisfying crack, like something under pressure finally breaks. Resources melting down sound like they are bubbling. Searching through a robot wreckage has this specific audio texture that's almost ASMR. But every time you open a box, you're gambling, because somewhere in that container might be something rare. And if you have it, the game lets you know through a specific, short synth jingle. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the sound of winning, and your brain wants to hear it again. So you open another box and another, because you have problems with gambling, and the jingle might come. Safest pocket needs to be fulfilled. And then there's everything else. The game rewards you constantly. You gain experience for just opening a locker. If you're shooting an arc, even if you die, you'll get to experience. Don't worry. And the movement mechanics. Zipline, sliding, rolling, climbing, and... The Rust Belt is built to be explored vertically, horizontally, through windows, over rooftops, underground. You can go mostly everywhere if you have the necessary facilities. Here's where it gets interesting. Those other players in the map, they are not enemies by default, because they might help you, they might ignore you, they might wait until you find the good stuff and do the job. You never really know what kind of player you'll meet until you are in the moment. You can never fully know, and that is the entire vibe of the game. Sometimes you end up cooperating, grouping up with strangers and watching each other's back. You may taking down a boss together. Other times you play differently. You wait, you let someone else do the hard work, and then you make your move. We don't judge. This is just a game, and this is the most fun you will have all night. Your body, your choice. One day you're friendly, helping everyone else. The other day you just choose violence. Why?
Because it's so much fun, Chan. Get it?
At the beginning, I said something about karma-based matchmaking. Well, basically it means that if you don't do any damage to other players and just minding your own business, destroying arcs and loot, the game at some point will put you in friendly lobbies. The more aggressive you will get towards other players, the more likely you will be put in PvP lobbies. This game is pretty friendly towards new players or casual ones, so you don't have to fight other players all the time. You can just time to time go into a raid and enjoy the game in friendly lobbies. So even a person with claws like you could handle it. But remember, everyone in this game at some point did or will do his kill. Make sure you're not the victim. Another nice thing in Arc Raiders is that you can hear other players talking when they are near you in the game with distance and echo, like they are actually there, so-called proximity chat, which is another point for immersive audio. So you get moments like this, when you are looting a building alone, someone walks in, you say don't shoot, they wave back, and you decide not to shoot. So maybe you end up fighting the vaporizer and run away as you planned. Maybe 5 people will gather together and start a party. You can have all kinds of situations, and it's fun.
What can I say, bro? Иди нахуй, петушок.
Amazing.
Nobody scripted that. It's just people making decisions in real time.
Do it.
Most of games will make you afraid of losing items. Meanwhile, Arc Raiders also makes you afraid of misjudging people. You start to pay attention to how someone moves, whether they act shady, don't talk, and when something just feels off. But of course, the fight is fun. Fighting is a different kind of satisfying.
Okay, ma'am, calm down. What kind of shots?
Gonna die, boy. You died, boy. Sorry, boy.
When you hear that crack, when you break someone's shield, all those sparks around, the red flare shooting in the sky when the player is knocked out, and there is all the time a voice through the mic. This feeling never gets old. So why does your Dobby keep coming back in a new ride knowing he might lose everything again? Maybe it's not about the loot, maybe it's not even about winning. Maybe this game just shows you something the real world doesn't. The Rust Belt doesn't care about us. It feels no hatred and knows no mercy. It simply exists. We are the ones who give it meaning because we can stand the emptiness. A person goes where they might be killed not for heroism or truth, but because ordinary life feels even more dead. We risk ourselves just to feel alive, and in that there is no glory, only a quiet exhaustion from a world that gives no answer. The scariest thing about the Rust Belt isn't that it takes lives, it's that it honestly shows you who you already were before you ever all in. And maybe that's why he can't stop.